Good evening. Namaste. Welcome to R2R session on costing. Costing syllabus is reasonably less because earlier it used to be costing and FM, costing for 60 marks, FM for 40 marks. FM has been excluded now and only costing syllabus has been retained, and the same syllabus now they made it for 100 marks. It is more of a common sense subject. So starting questions, what you write is most important, like any other subject. First impression is the best impression. That's why start with the most easy. Especially in costing, the last question is always on theory. If you think you're not so good at practicals, and if you're extremely good at theory, you may start with the theory also. You may start with theory, but it's not compulsory. Whichever is the easiest one, start with that. Syllabus mainly is about material, labor, process costing. So these chapters are yaude karanakku miss ಮಾಡಬೇಡಿ. ಇನ್ನು 1.5 days ಇದೆ ನಿಮಗೆ. So material, labor, process costing, marginal costing, standard costing, contract costing, activity-based costing, and introduction theory, including management accounting theory. Maintaining good pace is extremely important. Costing early from the time immortal, I can say. At least I know from whatever time they are talking about costing paper. No, people are not able to complete even now. So now 1+4 is there, but nevertheless, you may be able to complete. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ speed ಇರಲಿ. Easy paper, tough paper, speed is the essence. Costing is high scoring paper. Aim at 100 out of 125. One question, recent ಆಗಿ ಆ ತರ ಇರಲಿಲ್ಲ, but one question may be a bouncer, is okay, leave it. Still you can score 80+. Read the question carefully and answer accordingly. Working notes are extremely important. Focus on the final answer too. Accounts ಗೂ costing a difference. Accounts ಅಲ್ಲಿ working notes correct ಇದ್ರು you may still end up with 70-80. Costing ಅಲ್ಲಿ final answer also to the extent possible. At least out of 500 effectively around 10 to 15 questions you'll be attempting because sub questions ಇರುವಾಗ around 4-5 questions to the point ಬಂದ್ರೆ ಆರಾಮ್ಸೆ 40+ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. It can be 100 also. Last batch November 22 CA third rank holder got 100 out of 100 in costing. Okay, you can also aim for it. Then stepwise approach is appreciated by the valuer. So minimum 50 marks ತಗೋಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ easily practice material problems, labor problems, service costing, contract costing, cost bookkeeping, and cost sheet, marginal costing, process costing, and certain repeated theories. To ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ minimum 50 marks ಅಲ್ಲೇ ಬಂದ್ಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ. Then other things depending upon your expertise. Do's and don'ts, like I told in the accounts, the same thing I repeated here. Okay, last page ಅಲ್ಲಿ, last sheet of paper, 1:45 to 2 o'clock. Decide which is that one question which you are not going to write. ಅದನ್ನ ಡಿಸೈಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು then 2 o'clock ಗೆ when you get the answer, last page ಅಲ್ಲಿ maybe labor formula ಇರ್ಬೋದು, turnover formula ಇರ್ಬೋದು, labor turnover, marginal costing formula ಬರ್ಕೊಡಿ, whichever relevant for the question being asked. So ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು but all the do's and don'ts. And theory ಬರೆಯುವಾಗ costing ಅಲ್ಲಿ study material language ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. study material language ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. Okay, correct question number ಬರಿ, sub questions ಬರಿ, extra questions just scribble and come. So do not expect easy paper, tough paper, whatever it may be, and do not ignore theory. Last question, 4 out of 5 compulsory theory question. You get inside the subject. What is cost? Cost means resources utilized or spent or potentially to be incurred on a manufacture of a product or rendering of a service. And service miss agide. Two important objectives of costing: cost control, avoiding unwanted expenditure. Okay, like ನಿಮ್ಮ 4-wheeler ಅಲ್ಲಿ back side ಅಲ್ಲಿ one wiper is suffice. Some companies tried with the 2 wipers initially, backside portion entirely. It's a waste, remove it. Cost reduction, reducing the cost per unit. Maruti Suzuki Swift Desire car. So when the excise duty law was there, the length was, let us say, 10 feet. So if you would have reduced by 0.5, so the excise duty is substantial saving. So there's the back portion, they pushed it inside and they reduced the cost. So where you try to find out what are the areas where we can improve the quality, reduce the cost, that's called cost reduction. Cost control is avoiding wasteful expenditure. Cost reduction is per unit cost permanent ಆಗಿ reduce ಮಾಡೋದು. That's called cost unit. Classification of cost, element wise, material, labor, expenses, overhead ಅಲ್ಲ. Under that, direct, indirect ಬರುತ್ತೆ. All direct are called prime cost. All indirect are called overheads. Function wise, production cost, administration production overhead ಅಲ್ಲ. Production cost, which includes prime cost also. Administration overhead, selling overhead, distribution, research, development, etc. Conversion cost andre production cost minus material, the labor and production overhead. Then nature-wise, extremely important, fixed variable and semi-variable cost. Fixed cost, variable cost, they go with the name. Fixed in total, variable in total. So fixed cost, fixed in total, varies per unit. Variable cost varies in total, fixed per unit. Semi-variable, part will be fixed, part will be variable. So how to segregate? Delta C by delta U. Change in cost divided by change in units, that will give you variable cost per unit. So multiply by the number of units, that will be total variable cost. The differential amount is the fixed cost included. Normal and abnormal, controllable, uncontrollable, then managerial decision making. Theory questions, opportunity cost. The cost of benefit forgone by not selecting the next best alternative is called opportunity cost. Standard cost, predetermined per unit cost. Budgeted cost, estimated cost in total. Relevant cost is the cost which is relevant for decision in hand. What is relevant for Deepa may not be relevant for Swapna. What is relevant for Swapna may not be relevant for Chaitanya. So relevant in the context. Differential cost, cost difference between two alternatives. Out of pocket and what you pay. Imputed is notional cost. Allocation, charging the cost which is identifiable to a product. Sunil has a t-shirt. Cloth is identifiable. That is called the identifiable cost. Apportionment, general cost apportion based on certain ratio. Allocation plus apportionment is called absorption. You charge more, that is called over absorption. You absorb less, it's called under absorption. Methods of costing, there are only two methods of costing. Process costing, when a product passes through a process. Yarn, fabric, garment, milk, butter, buttermilk, then ghee, there is a process. Output of one process will become input of another process. Everything else is a job costing. So types can be your syllabus, entire syllabus. Process costing with the operation costing, they come under process costing. Everything else is job costing. Unit costing, single costing, contract costing, service costing, everything comes under job costing. Management accounting, punch words, okay, CPPI, okay. So create, protect, preserve, and increase. In words are revision class stress madidini. So it is a philosophy where you create, protect, PPI, preserve and increase the value wealth to the stakeholders. That is called management accounting. Responsibility centers can be fixing a responsibility. It can be a cost center, it can be a revenue center, it can be a profit center. In a company, there are multiple managers. For example, Aditi is there, Chaitanya is there, Sunil is there. So there are three production managers. Okay? You can either fix them as the cost center, profit center, investment center, or revenue center. Material. Inventory is regarded as cash in kind. So inventory control is extremely important. So various methods of inventory control, fixing the stock levels. So minimum level, maximum level, formula by reorder level is maximum into maximum. Minimum level is reorder level minus normal into normal delivery time. Maximum level, since the word is maximum, only reorder level plus reorder quantity, the extra minus minimum into minimum. There is no repetition in this formula. Reorder level, you cannot use the word reorder quantity here. That's why the word is maximum. Minimally, there is no minimum word used because you're talking minimum, and maximum is already used here. That means it should be average here. Maximally, whatever is not used here, you have to use here. That's the way you have to remember the formula. Average stock level, minimum plus maximum whole divided by 2, or minimum level plus half of a reorder quantity. Then EOQ formula, square root of 2AB by C. A means annual usage in units. B means buying cost per order. C means Coupa, cost, carrying cost per unit per annum. Material costing. So apart from that, you also need to talk about EOQ, ordering cost and carrying cost are inversely related. So they are equal. That is what EOQ, economic order quantity. Reorder level andre, when the stock reaches what level you have to order, that's called reorder level. What quantum you are ordering, that's called reorder quantity. So at EOQ, EOQ is supposed to be the optimum, but EOQ need not be ROQ always. EOQ mathematically may come to 346.9. How can you order 6.9 or the 0.9? Not possible. Somewhere nearby you take it. Next, two-bin system. Under this system, there will be two parts. One small part may be quantity related, and other part about reorder level. So that you will be able to place the order as and when it reaches the level fixed. Then other important techniques. setting stock levels, ABC, always better control. A items, diamond items or A items, silver may be B items, copper may be C items, based on consumption value. FSN, fast moving, slow moving, non-moving. Vital, essential, desirable. Then stock taking, physical stock taking, it can be perpetual or periodic. On a regular basis, if you do perpetual. Material losses can be waste, which doesn't have a scrap value. Example, petrol, evaporation. Scrap has a scrap value. Say sawdust, when you do the wood industry. Defective, slight scratches, which can be rectified. Cost of rectifying defective is a part of your factory overhead under cost sheet. Obsolete, outdated. Okay. Next, spoilage, it is so badly damaged, which cannot be rectified at all. Class 8 o'clock shuru agate, 7:55 video on ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡಂತೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು we don't listen. So it cannot be rectified at all. Okay, they are called spoilage. Understood? Yeah, even during the examination session time only, we have to come and talk about this. Class will start at 8 o'clock. I came at 7:50. So I told the people to keep, except I think 3 people. Sapna was there, Deepa was there, 3-4 people. So we cannot rectify. So 8, 5, 8, 10 also we cannot rectify because ನಮ್ಗೆ ಬೇರೆ ಕೆಲಸ ಇಲ್ವಲ್ಲ. We do not have any other work. ನಾವು ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ರಿವಿಷನ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ರೆಡಿ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಪ್ರಿಪೇರ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಬರಬೇಕು ಅಲ್ವಾ. ಸೊ that's the classic example. You can take self example. So badly damaged, which cannot be rectified at all. Impossible. God ಕೆಳಗೆ ಬಂದು ಚೇಂಜ್ ಮಾಡಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ. Impossible to change. Yeah. Next, labor costing. Time keeping. Keeping the record of the total time spent in the factory is called time keeping. Then time booking is, so assuming Deepa was a tailor, morning she would have spent on chudidar. Next she would have spent on pant. Next she would have spent on sari. What all the various jobs she did, ಅದರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ time and analysis ಮಾಡೋದು. So that is called time booking. Job analysis and validating basically from the labor formula point of view. Nim syllabus ಅಲ್ಲಿ luckily they have had hardly 3-4 formulae. Time rate means hours worked into rate per hour. Then piece rate means number of units into rate per unit. Bonus plans are only 2 in your syllabus as of now. Also plan, which is 50% of the time saved will be given as a bonus. Whereas also row 1 plan only, you will be giving proportionate of time saved to time allowed as a bonus. And also veer anta one formula ide, which is instead of 50%, they say 33 1/3% ಅಥವಾ 30% can be given. Labor turnover formula. Labor turnover formula. Yeah. Labor turnover means the ratio of employees joining and quitting the organization. Okay. So number of separations divided by every number of workers. That is separation formula. Replacement is number of replacement. Replacement should not consider the new employees for expansion program. Expansion replacement. So Sapna is there. Sapna is replaced by Rashmi. That's replacement. So in addition, if you are taking 3-4 people, they should not be considered. Next, flux method is both the numerator you add divided by average number of workers. Overheads, all indirect material, indirect labor, indirect expenses is called overhead. They are classified either function wise or behavior wise classification. Machinery rate is one important concept under overhead. What is the cost of running a machine per hour? If you add machine operators wages, that is also called comprehensive machinery rate. Here, classify the expense into variable and fixed. Each cost on a per unit body variable ಅಲ್ಲಿ fixed ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ total divided by number. Format ಅನ್ನು by heart ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗಿ. Next, ABC, it is the based on a DMA technique. Activity based costing. There are 2 ABC. One is always better control inventory ಅಲ್ಲಿ A items, B items, C items based on the consumption value. ಇನ್ನೊಂದೇನಿಲ್ಲಿ activity based costing ಅಂದ್ರೆ based on the various activities, activity drivers. Okay. So hotel example, probably I don't know whether you have learned this. Hotel ಅಲ್ಲಿ server. So what is the total cost of serving divided by number of serves. Number of salutes. Total cost of salute boy divided by number of salutes. Inspection. Atara. So A first divide ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, then you have to multiply, then you add. DMA, ABC uses next alphabet, DMA technique. Cost accounting system. So there are 2 methods of maintaining the books. One is called non-integrated or cost bookkeeping. One is called integrated bookkeeping. Under non-integrated bookkeeping, okay, you maintain 2 separate books. One is called costing books. You are a big organization. One is called financial books. Financial books is your PUC, become what you learned. Costing books only, you open mainly 4 accounts. Source ledger control account, work in progress control account, finished goods control account, and GLA for all other items. In between material, etc., you open and close. You will open only cost related information, pure financial information. GLE ಅಥವಾ ನಾಮಿನಲ್ ಲೆಜರ್ ಅಡ್ಜಸ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಅಕೌಂಟ್ ಅಥವಾ ಕಾಸ್ಟ್ ಲೆಜರ್ ಅಡ್ಜಸ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಅಕೌಂಟ್ ಅನ್ನ ಡಬಲ್ ಎಂಟ್ರಿ ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಓಪನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಇಂಟಗ್ರೇಟೆಡ್ ಬುಕ್ ಕೀಪಿಂಗ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ only one set of books for costing as well as financial books. So to give a simple example, whenever you purchase the material, so normal PUC entry is purchase account to cash. Whereas if it is integrated, purchase control account or stores ledger control account to cash. Whereas if it is non-integrated, purchase control account, stores ledger control account, material control ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು, to cash ಇದೆ financial account, right? To GLE ಅಷ್ಟೇ. Next, ಈ methods of bookkeeping, I suggested you to go by the manufacturing process, which I discussed in cost sheet. Cost sheet ಅನ್ನೇ ಬರೆದಿದ್ದು, ಅದನ್ನೇ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ಯಾಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ. ಸೊ ರಾ ಮೆಟೀರಿಯಲ್ ಇಂಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮೆಟೀರಿಯಲ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಅಕ್ಷಿತಾ, ಅದನ್ನ ಇಂಟ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಟು ಸ್ಟೋರ್ಸ್, ಅಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಪ್ರೊಡಕ್ಷನ್ ಡಿಪಾರ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಇಶ್ಯೂ ಮಾಡಿ, ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಲೇಬರ್, ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆನ್ಸ್, ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಟರಿ ಆಡ್ ಮಾಡಿ. ಸೊ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿಕಮ್ ಫಿನಿಶ್ ಗೂಡ್ಸ್, ಆಡ್ ಜನರಲ್ ಅಡ್ಮಿನಿಸ್ಟ್ರೇಷನ್ ಓವರ್ಹೆಡ್, ದೆನ್ ಕಾಸ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಗೂಡ್ಸ್ ಸೋಲ್ಡ್, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಸೆಲ್ಲಿಂಗ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಡಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿಬ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಓವರ್ಹೆಡ್ ಆಡ್ ಮಾಡಿ, ಸೇಲ್ಸ್. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಬೇಸಿಕಲಿ 3 ಇನ್ವೆಂಟ್ರಿ. ಸ್ಟೋರ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಶೀಟ್ ಇದೆ ರಾ ಮೆಟೀರಿಯಲ್ ಇನ್ವೆಂಟ್ರಿ, WIP ಅಲ್ಲಿ WIP ಇನ್ವೆಂಟ್ರಿ, and finished goods ಅಲ್ಲಿ finished goods inventory. So other total generally should match with the GLA and also sometimes overhead adjustment account irboard. So what is the entry? How do you pass the entry? Golden rules. Debit the receiving department, credit the giving department. Stores in the materials are issued to production. WIP control account to stores, SLC account. Next, goods are manufactured. Finished goods control account debit to WIP. So in a regular class of the revision material, beautiful table ಇದೆ. So what is the financial books transaction? What ಅದನ್ನ ಇನ್ನೊಂದ್ಸಲ ಓದ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. Pure financial books, pure integrated, pure non-integrated books. Okay, beautiful ಆಗಿದೆ. Under integrated bookkeeping, there is no concept of reconciliation because there is only one financials, one books. Whereas non-integrated costing books, cost sheet, financial books, financial P&L. So you need to compare the same. Okay, so if the profit is not matching, you need to prepare a reconciliation statement. Be loyal to the subject. Start with the profit as per costing. Profit as per costing. So if there is anything overcharged expenditure in costing, ಅದನ್ನ add ಮಾಡಿ, undercharge ಅನ್ನು minus ಮಾಡಿ, ಅದು ಫಾರ್ಮ್ಯಾಟ್ ಅನ್ನು by heart. Single costing, unit costing ಮತ್ತೆ cost sheet. Compulsory question. Okay, cost sheet. When voluminous quantities of homogeneous products are manufactured, that's called single costing. So this is the format: direct material, direct labor, direct expense, also called chargeable expenses. Chargeable expenses example: royalty, fees for technical service, then route permit, etc. They are called prime cost. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ವರ್ಕ್ ಸೋಲ್ಡ್ ಅನ್ನು ಆಡ್ ಮಾಡಿ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕಾಸ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ರೆಕ್ಟಿಫೈಯಿಂಗ್ ಡೆಫೆಕ್ಟ್ is special one, gross works cost, opening WIP, closing WIP minus ಮಾಡಿ, this is called works cost. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಕ್ವಾಲಿಟಿ ಕಂಟ್ರೋಲ್, R&D, administration related expenses and related to the production add ಮಾಡಿ. So less sale of scrap, special item, throughout costing ಅಲ್ಲಿ sale of scrap and normal sale of scrap ಅನ್ನು minus ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. This is called cost of production. You have to double underline per unit here. Then opening stock of finished goods as given in the question, less closing stock of finished goods, number into this cost per unit, whatever given not relevant. And AS2 is also not relevant. Cost of goods sold. Then again, up to here per units produced. Here from here per units sold. Then add general administration or selling and distribution, that will become cost of sales at the total cost. Add profit, that is called sales. Two topics which are unfortunately not discussed in your study material, but they are in the examination question paper. Estimation. January month I manufactured 1 lakh units. February month I want to manufacture 1,20,000 units. So what may be the what you call cost for 1,20,000, Chaitra? That is called the estimation. Quotation is Aditi as what you called asked a special order for this particular month. I want 5,000 special pens. What is the quotation? Same cost sheet format is ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. Only thing is the administration order fixed in nature. So estimation will take the total as it is, whereas quotation will take it as a percentage. Everything else you have to take so as a percentage. Factory order is a percentage of direct wages normally. Then selling and distribution order is a percentage of works cost. One day order percentage of works cost, it is only for quotation. Estimation no concept of percentage. Take the total amount as it is. 1/4 on cost is equal to 1/5 on sales, etc. Batch costing example is cycle. Cycle, the tires will be manufactured in batches, rims will be manufactured, pedals will be manufactured, everything total like separate ಮಾಡೋದು. Then for each item you may use unit costing, then you add. That is what is called batch costing. Economic EBQ is something similar to UOQ formula. The next one is called contract costing. Contract costing is basically for construction related. So assuming you're constructing buildings, roads, flyovers, dams, machines, etc. Fine. So contract costing format is there. A format and a follow ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ES7 only POCM percentage of completion method ಮಾತ್ರ. So all cost related contract debit ಮಾಡಿ. All paid suddenly by contract price, work certified selling price. It is like a sales. Work uncertified is like a closing stock. It is at the cost. Machinery is one special point. To plant issued by the 10 lakh rupees if you write. By plant WDV 8 lakh. Or simply you write to depreciation 2 lakh. So depreciation 2 lakh ಬರೆಯಬಹುದು ಅಥವಾ 10 lakh debit 8 lakh rate ಮಾಡಬಹುದು. So POCM only ಈಗ no concept of notional profit concept ಇಲ್ಲ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ಯಾಟ್ ಅನ್ನು ಬೈ ಹಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ. A compulsory question process costing, normal process costing with the format. Okay. So debit suddenly material labor expense, material units rate amount, paid suddenly by normal loss, units compulsory ಬರಬೇಕು, scrap value if given. By abnormal loss, working notes valuation ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. By finished goods transfer to next person valuation ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. Valuation ಹೆಂಗೆ? Input 1000 units, plus normal loss 100. Expected units is 900. Actual output is 850. 50 is abnormal loss. If actual units is 920, 20 is abnormal gain. So whatever the total cost on the debit side, less normal scrap value, that is called net cost, divided by expected output. Actual output alla, expected output, that will give you cost per unit to RMRs. Abnormal loss units into cost per unit, and finished goods into cost per unit, process costing first part. Normal loss is, which is incidental, which has to be borne by good unit. Abnormal loss throughout costing, transfer to costing period. Abnormal gain is always the actual output, it is always debited to process account, credited to abnormal gain account, abnormal gain, sorry. Now, what is the concept of equivalent production? Equivalent production is where you have got units half completed. Okay, some are completed, some are half completed. For example, 1000 units you manufactured, 800 units are completed, 200 units are half completed. So then 200 units are expressing in terms of finished goods is called equivalent units. There can be two approaches. One is called FIFO, one is called VAP normally, ES2 prakara. Format, there are four tables. Table 1 is a statement of equivalent production. Input particulars units, visualize ಮಾಡಿ. Output particulars units. Equivalent units, material, labor and overhead, everywhere percentage is same, you can merge. At the end of the labor separate, material separate. Open WIP 900, introduce the 9100, total 10,000. Exact same total 10,000 output ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರಬೇಕು, unless they change and give the input output ratio is 2:1. 10,000 input ಇದ್ರೆ output 5,000 ಬರಬೇಕು. ಇಲ್ಲದೆ throughout equivalent production is always 1:1 ratio ಇರೋದು. Normal loss, units ಬರಬೇಕು, equivalent units dash. Then units completed. If it is a FIFO, 900 units should be out of the opening WIP. 100 minus percentage ತಗೋಬೇಕು. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾತ್ರ 100 minus percentage ತೆಗಿಬೇಕು. Other units completed, introduced and completed 100% ತಗೋಬೇಕು. VAP ಅಲ್ಲಿ only percentage. No question of 100 minus percentage anywhere. Abnormal loss percentage given, closing WIP percentage given. ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಸಲ ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ. Equivalent production table ಅಲ್ಲಿ FIFO ಆದ್ರೆ opening WIP units ಗೆ ಮಾತ್ರ 100 minus percentage. Everywhere else, even in VAP, whatever percentage given, I have to take it. Abnormal gain bandre within the bracket barri, always 100%. Always 100%. If there are two raw materials, material one is what if the given material percentage quoted interest. Material 70, labor 50, overhead 50. That means that material percentage given is for second raw material. First raw material is 100% presumed to be complete. First raw material is 100% presumed to be complete. So table 1. Table 1 ಅಲ್ಲಿ equivalent production ಬಂದಿರುತ್ತೆ. Material ಎಷ್ಟು, labor ಎಷ್ಟು, overhead ಎಷ್ಟು. Table 2 statement of cost per equivalent unit. What is the material cost? Less normal scrap value divided by total material equivalent units per unit. Total labor cost divided by equivalent labor unit. Total overhead cost divided by equivalent overhead units. Divided by whatever amount you get, there is a cost per finished goods. Table number 3, statement of valuation. Table 1 normal loss, zero valuation. Units completed. If it is a FIFO, whatever the opening WAP as it is, right? Then row wise units, material is to, labor is to, overhead is to, into rate given in table number 2. Whereas if it is a weighted average, so opening WAP split would have been given. How much is the material cost, how much is the labor cost, how much is the overhead cost. Individually multiply. Everything else, row wise, abnormal loss, units into material, into labor, into overhead cost. Next, table 4 is a normal process account. Then inter-process profit. These are the 4 tables what I discussed now. Important. Inter-process profit, when the output of one process is transferred to another process, that is called inter-process profit. It can be transferred at cost, it can be transferred at selling price, it can be transferred at a negotiable price. Costal transfer, there is no concept of unrealized profit, departmental accounts. Whereas if you transfer at a selling price or negotiated price, so there is an unrealized profit which need to be eliminated. Next, joint products and byproduct. In the oil industry, so you have crude oil at a one particular stage. So you get crude kerosene, crude petrol, crude diesel. So where at a split up point, when you identify the items of equal importance value, may not be price point of view, usage point of view. Petrol is also important, diesel is important, kerosene also important. They are called joint product. Byproduct, you manufacturing sugar out of the sugar cane. Molasses and bagasse incidentally arise, which can be used for paper manufacturing. They are called byproduct. So if the byproducts are also of equally important value, they are treated like joint product. Otherwise, joint product till the stage of separation. How do you apportion? There are various methods in it. Physical units based on units. The average cost is total divided by total number of units. This first method and second method, if you ask me, they are same. Survey method, they would based on experience, they said 60% for this, 30% for this, 10% for this. Contribution margin method, okay, variable cost based on physical units or whatever. Then fixed cost and contribution, sales value variable. Then market value is important. So petrol, diesel, kerosene. Selling price petrol is 100, diesel is 80, kerosene is let us say 50. Ida Allah. 100 into units, 1 lakh units of petrol are there, 100 lakh. Diesel 80 rupees into 50,000. You have to multiply. Kerosene 20,000 into. So sales value tokobeku, selling price tokobaru. Price ratio Allah, value ratio, number into rate. It can be market value at split off point. Crude petrol at split off point it may be 75. After further passing, it may be 110. So after further passing, NRV is called Shitana Ulta model. So selling Ulta work, selling price minus profit. That's called total cost. Minus selling expenses. Sometimes selling expense may be a balancing figure. Minus post separation cost. Automatically you get a share in joint cost. Interpersonal profit. Service costing with the operating costing both are same. Basically for flying of vehicles, including goods carriage vehicles, atava boiler industry, repairs, canteen department, etc. Format is somewhat similar to machinery rate. Okay, you classify the cost into fixed cost, variable cost, and semi-fixed. Whereas machinery rate normally we go by what? Sapna variable and fixed cost. Next format multiple costing is when you talk about a building manufacturing, construction of a house, construction of a brick, if yourself you are doing the unit costing. Other join contract construction you are only doing is contract costing. Then architecture there may be service costing. So many costing techniques if you add, that's called multiple costing. Till now, whatever I discussed is a costing portion. You must subject SRO, cost and management account. So till now, whatever we discussed is costing. Next comes your management accounting. Management accounting is that philosophy CPPA at the starting of the theory node important. So which improve the value. So there are 3 important techniques. So 2 methods of costing are job and process. Then various types. I told you the chapter headings. Then 3 techniques of costing. costing technique which helps in managerial decision making, management accounting are budgetary control, which is prepared on an estimation total basis. Standard costing is also estimation, but per unit basis. Then marginal costing. Okay, one of the beauties of what you called costing techniques. Standard costing is predetermined cost, which has been analyzed based on a reasonable estimation and analysis. Variance is equal to standard cost of standard input for actual output. Standard cost of standard input for actual output minus actual cost of actual input for actual output. Then the various formulae. So total variance is divided to 3 RMRs. Cost variance maatram syllabus level. Material, labor, overhead. Overhead only 2 RMRs. Variable overhead and fixed overhead. Material, labor, variable overhead. They are variable in nature. Formula are same because they remain fixed per unit. Whereas fixed overhead, fixed in total, varies per unit. Formula is slightly different. So material variance is equal to standard cost of standard raw material for actual output minus actual cost of actual raw material for actual output. 2 RMRs. Left side price variance within the bracket price, outer column actual quantity consumed. Right side volume variance within the bracket volume quantum, outer column standard rate. Price variance Usha Uttupudu Bindi reading. Volume variance 2 RMRs. Material mix variance special formula by heart muddy. Right side sub usage variance. Usage variance formula same usage variance formula, but total anta madi. Average standard rate into total standard quantity minus total actual quantity. Instead of usage variance, you can also find material yield variance. It is the yield based formula. Standard rate of actual output into standard yield minus actual yield. Yen aagಬೇಕಾಗಿತ್ತು. Labor cost variance formula also in chart formula ಇದೆ. ಅದೇ ತರ ನೋಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಅಲ್ಲಿ special is idle time variance. Hours worked but not, hours paid but not worked. It is idle hours into standard rate. It is always abnormal in nature. That's why it's going to be adverse variance. Variable overhead normally stop at total. However, hourly data is given. You have to go by expenditure variance and volume variance. Next, fixed overhead variance is slightly different because of the nature of the fixed overhead. Total formula is same. Left side reading colli. Expenditure variance question alli ide. Idanadu madabodu. Question budgeted minus actual. Question ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರ್ತಾರೆ. Budgeted ಎಷ್ಟು actual ಎಷ್ಟು. Fixed overhead variance ಅಲ್ಲಿ we use 3 words. Assuming for 1 lakh units, rent expected is 100 lakh. This is called budgeted. So per unit will become 100 lakh by 1 lakh is equal to rupees 100. Assuming you ended up with 80,000 units, 80,000 into 100, 80 lakh will become a standard cost. I repeat, 1 lakh units you estimated, 1 lakh units, 100 lakh is the cost of it. Budgeted cost is 100 lakh. Whereas standard is always for actual. Standard is always for actual. 80,000 into standard rate per unit is 100. 80 lakh is the standard cost. But actual cost, you may end up with the 110 lakh. So budgeted variance, standard variance, actual. So volume variance, 2 are out. Either it can be unit based or it can be hours based. Unit based list, you have to by heart BQ minus AQ into SR. Outside standard. But if unit under standard per unit ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ತುಂಬಾ easy topic. BQ minus AQ. ಇದರ middle ಅಲ್ಲಿ deduct and add. What is left out? SQ. BQ minus SQ will become capacity variance. SQ minus AQ will become efficiency variance. Sometimes capacity is also called calendar variance if it is given in days. Hourly variance, be careful. SR into BH minus SH. So, AQ alla SH. Why SH? Standard is always for actual quantum. That's why formula mathematically matches. BH SH Sunil. What is left out then? AH. Deduct AH here. BH minus AH. SH minus S. Capacity and efficiency in an alphabetical order. Then there are some ratios you have to by heart. You have to by heart this formula. Yes. Finally, A is equal to C into E. So A first alphabet, third alphabet, fifth alphabet. A is equal to C into E. Activity ratio is equal to capacity ratio into efficiency ratio. So if they are given one of the ratios, you should be able to find out. Activity kotto, capacity kotto, efficiency, activity divided by capacity. Capacity and efficiency kotto, multiply ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಇದನ್ನ ಪೈ ಆಡ್ ಮಾಡಿ. Marginal costing. Marginal cost means extra cost incurred for producing an extra unit or cost saved by not producing an unit. Marginal cost is equal to variable cost is equal to prime cost plus variable overheads. Fixed cost is always expressed in total here. And you have to by heart the formula. That is nothing but a profit formula. Profit is equal to sales minus total cost of the original formula. Total cost you make it as variable cost and fixed cost. Sales and variable cost, you keep it on one side because both are controllable, is equal to fixed cost plus profit, that is equal to contribution. Other the formula GP ratio formula, GP by sales into 100. ಇಲ್ಲಿ contribution by sales into 100 is called PV ratio, profit volume ratio, C by S. Chandrasekhar by Shetty into 100 ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು. ಅಥವಾ when they given the information for 2 period, delta C divided by delta S into 100, ಅಥವಾ delta profit, fixed cost will not change, change in profit divided by change in sales into 100. ಅದನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ multiply, play with the formula. Compulsory ಒಂದು 2 questions ಅದು ಬರುತ್ತೆ, 5 into 2, 10 marks, 15 marks. Next, if PV ratio is 60%, contribution margin ratio is 60%, so that means variable cost is 40%. 100 minus PV ratio is the variable cost. PEP ಅಲ್ಲಿ profit is 0. That means contribution by contribution per unit is the formula actually, but total contribution profit 0 ಇದೆ. So what is the use of telling that? So BEP in units is total fixed cost divided by contribution per unit. ಅಥವಾ total contribution divided by contribution per unit ಮಾಡಿ. At BEP, profit is 0. That means BEP contribution is equal to total fixed cost. BEP in value, total fixed cost divided by PV ratio, ಅಥವಾ whatever the units you get into selling price per unit. Margin of safety, ನಿಮ್ಮ BEP chart ಮಾಡುವಾಗ ಇದು 0 axis, ಇದು x0, ಇದು x axis, ಇದು y axis. Fixed cost line is parallel to x axis. Variable cost line starts from 0. 0 shirt, 0 cloth. 1 shirt, 200. 2 shirt, 400. Whereas rent of the building 0, 100, 200 will be proportionate. Then total cost line will start from fixed cost. So this will be parallel to variable cost line. Sales line will start from 0. The point where sales line intersects the total cost line. So from there, if you draw a dot line, it is BEP in units, it is BEP in value. The angle here is called theta, angle of incidence. Margin of safety, whenever is safer, when the sales is above the BEP. Margin of safety, one more formula, all formula bad money, Sapna look here. Profit divided by PV ratio. Then sales required to earn X profit. This is nothing but your BEP formula. Total fixed cost divided by contribution plus X profit you want. Just add money. So same formula na add. Budgets and budgetary control. What you prepare on a total basis, quantitative or qualitative basis, is called budget. Zero based budget andre start from the scratch. So where you do not take the previous things as a base, okay, and you start from the scratch. That is called zero based budget. Zero based budgeting is extremely important, especially when you are venturing into new concept. Next, budgetary control, they might ask you fixed budget versus flexible budget. So all these years, your output capacity, budgeted capacity, installed capacity, 100 lakh units, but you almost function at 80 lakh units. Prepare a budget for 80%. That's called fixed budget. But sometimes it may be 75 lakh, sometimes it may be 95 lakh. So you prepare budget at 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, considering variable, fixed and semi-variable. So that tomorrow, if the output is 81 lakh, 80% budget comparison. If output is 99 lakh, 100% budget comparison. It's called flexible budget. Semi-variable, variable, next, cash budget also might be asked. Okay, FM topical, cash budget. Cash budgeting prepare madado, particulars April, May, June. Opening balance of the cash, add expected receipt, less expected payment, closing balance. Ali loan and arrangement madbekadre nodkobeku, with interest you take care. Recent examination question papers. Question number 1, printing agilla, it is a problem on batch cost. Okay, question number 1A, the by mistake print agilla, batch cost. So again, single costing, batch costing, EOP, variety topics. First question keltare. Ella problems irutte. Illu nodi hange irutte. Material labor common. Material antu 99% one question ide irutte. Okay, but machinery rate yen bekaru kelbodu. Unit costing irbodu. Then machinery rate ella topic barutte nim syllabus alli. Okay, so almost ella problem. Middle onond sala ಸಡನ್ನಾಗಿ ಒಂದು ಕೇಳಿ ಕೇಳಬಹುದು. ಜಾಬ್ ಕಾಸ್ಟಿಂಗ್, ಪ್ರೊಸೆಸ್ ಕಾಸ್ಟಿಂಗ್, ಕ್ಯಾಪಿಟಲ್ ಟೇಬಲ್ ಇದೆ, ಟ್ಯಾಬ್ಯುಲರ್ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ತೋರಿಸಿ. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್, ವಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಡಿಮಾಂಡ್ ಪುಲ್ ಥ್ರೂ, ಓಕೆ, ಪುಲ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಪುಷ್ ಟೆಕ್ನಿಕ್ ತರ, ಕಾಸ್ಟ್ ಅಕೌಂಟಿಂಗ್ ವರ್ಸಸ್ ಫಿನಾನ್ಷಿಯಲ್ ಅಕೌಂಟಿಂಗ್. ಒನ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಚಾಯ್ಸ್ ನಿಮಗೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಕಾಸ್ಟ್ ಅಕೌಂಟಿಂಗ್ ಇದೆ ಪೋಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾರ್ಟಮ್ ಅನಾಲಿಸಿಸ್, ಸಾರಿ ಫಿನಾನ್ಷಿಯಲ್ ಅಕೌಂಟಿಂಗ್ ಇದೆ ಪೋಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾರ್ಟಮ್ ಅನಾಲಿಸಿಸ್, Cost accounting is past, present, and future. Cost driver, ABC. Budget manual, how do you prepare? Theory on cost units. Ili methods of costing. Standard costing is theory question. Compulsory ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಒಂದು. Okay. Over time ಅನ್ನ how do you treat? So ಅದರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ theory ಇದೆ. ಮತ್ತೆ problems almost everything. Cost sheet ಇಲ್ಲಿದ್ರೆ ಇಲ್ಲೊಂದು ಕಡೆ cost sheet ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಮೆಟೀರಿಯಲ್ ಕಾಸ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಇದ್ರೆ ಇಲ್ಲೊಂದು ಕಡೆ ಮೆಟೀರಿಯಲ್ ಕಾಸ್ಟ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಮೇಲೆ ಕೆಳಗೆ ಆಗ್ತಾರೆ. Almost everything is asked. ಯಾವುದು ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ತೊಗೊಳಕಿಲ್ಲ. But some topics I told at the beginning which are important. So the format 120 to 125 are question paper. Last question mainly theory. These are the important problem areas. Cost sheet is compulsory, service cost compulsory, joint product I expect, then material and fixed overhead variance ಬರ್ಬೋದು ಈ ಸಲ. Marginal costing 2 questions normally asked. Process costing equivalent FIFO weighted ಬರ್ಬೋದು, easy ಇದೆ. Then basic question ಬರ್ಬೋದು, even interprocess profit ಬರ್ಬೋದು. EOQ stock level compulsory, labor problem compulsory, overhead ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವುದೋ ಒಂದು ಮೆಷಿನರಿ ರೇಟ್ ABC ಯಾವುದೋ ಕೇಳಬಹುದು. ಕಾಂಟ್ರಾಕ್ಟ್ ಕಾಸ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಇಸ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟೆಡ್. ಫ್ಲೆಕ್ಸಿಬಲ್ ಬಜೆಟ್ ಬರ್ಬೋದು, ನೋಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಥಿಯರಿ ತುಂಬಾ ಥಿಯರಿ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೀನಿ, ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ರಿಪೀಟೆಡ್ ಥಿಯರಿ ತುಂಬಾ ಇದೆ. ಆಲ್ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ ಈಚ್ ಥಿಯರಿನ ನಮ್ಮ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಿ. ಅಮನ್ ಸರ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಟೇಕನ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಸ್ಟಿವ್ ರಿವಿಷನ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಮಾಡುವಾಗ. ಇದು ಥರ್ಡ್ ಸೆಷನ್ ನಮ್ದು. ರೆಗ್ಯುಲರ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್, ರಿವಿಷನ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಮತ್ತೆ R2R. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಪಾಪ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಸುಸ್ತಾಗಿರ್ಬೇಕು ಬಂದು ನೋಡಿ ಎಷ್ಟು ಸಲ ಫೇಸ್ ನೋಡೋದಂತ. ಸೊ ಈ ರಿವಿಷನ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾಡಿದ ಅದು ನೋಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, ನಿಮ್ಮ ಯೂಟ್ಯೂಬ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದೆ. ಅದು ಯೂಟ್ಯೂಬ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರೋದಿಲ್ಲ, ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ಯೂಟ್ಯೂಬ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದೆ. ಅದು ಬೇರೆಯವ್ರಿಗೆ ಬೇಕಲ್ಲ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಇಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೀವಿ. ಸಪ್ತಪದಿ ಸ್ಟೆಪ್ಸ್, ಸ್ಟಡಿ ಮೆಟೀರಿಯಲ್ ಮತ್ತೆ ಆರ್ಟಿ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಗೋ ಥ್ರೂ ಮಾಡಿ. ಈಗ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಮಾಡಕ್ಕೆ ಬಟ್ ಅಟ್ ಲೀಸ್ಟ್ ಸ್ಟೆಪ್ಸ್ ನೋಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, ಫಾರ್ಮ್ಯಾಟ್ ನೋಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಪ್ರೊಸೆಸ್ ಕಾಸ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಇದ್ದು ಕಾಂಟ್ರಾಕ್ಟ್ ಕಾಸ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ಯಾಟ್ ನೋಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ ಥಿಯರಿ ವಿಲ್ ಫೆಚ್ ಮೋರ್ ಮಾರ್ಕ್. ಆಲ್ಟರ್ನೇಟಿವ್ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಇದ್ರೆ ನೀವು ಒಂದು ಮಾತ್ರ ಮಾಡಿ ಸಾಕು. ಸ್ಟೆಪ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್, ಬಟ್ ಎಂಡ್ ರಿಸಲ್ಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್. ಸೊ ಎಂಡ್ ರಿಸಲ್ಟ್ ಬಂದಿಲ್ಲ ತಲೆ ಕೆಡಿಸಬೇಡಿ. ಟು ದ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಪಾಸಿಬಲ್ ಟ್ರೈ ಟು ಬಿ ಪರ್ಫೆಕ್ಟ್. ಥಿಯರಿ ಇಸ್ ವೆರಿ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್. ಅರೌಂಡ್ 20 ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್ ಥಿಯರಿ ಟು ದ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಬರೀ. 6th ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಮಿಸ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಡಿ. 20 ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ನೀವು 15-20 ಮಿನಿಟ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬಿಸಾಕ್ಬಹುದು. ಸೊ ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟಿಕಲ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಔಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಔಟ್ ಬರ್ಲಿಕ್ಕಿಲ್ಲ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ 20 ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ 15 to 18 ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಆಸಮ್. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್, ಬಿಫೋರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ ಲೀವ್ ದ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್. ಸೊ ಎವ್ರಿ ಒನ್ ಇನ್ಕ್ಲೂಡಿಂಗ್ ಸರ್ಟನ್ ರ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಹೋಲ್ಡರ್ಸ್ ಫೆಲ್ಟ್ ಕಾಸ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಇಸ್ ಅನ್ಕಂಫರ್ಟೇಬಲ್ ಸಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್. ಬಟ್ ಒನ್ಸ್ ಯು ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟೀಸ್ and write the exam, it become easy of late. 50 marks can be easily scored by material, labor, service, marginal costing, cost sheet. So certain repetitive theory. The best review comes after the hardest claim. November 22, suggested answer. Question ಏನೀತು ಅಂತ. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಯಾವ ತರ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ಯಾಟ್ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ. ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್ ಬ್ಯಾಚ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಸಿಂಗಲ್ ಕಾಸ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಇದೆ, ನಥಿಂಗ್ ಬಟ್ ಸಿಂಗಲ್ ಕಾಸ್ಟಿಂಗ್, ಮಾರ್ಜಿನಲ್ ಕಾಸ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟೇಷನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು. ಸೊ ಯೂನಿಟ್ ಕಾಸ್ಟಿಂಗ್, ಸೆಲ್ಲಿಂಗ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಡಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿಬ್ಯೂಷನ್, ನೋಡಿ ಎಷ್ಟು ಚಿಲ್ಲರ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ. ಪರ್ ಬ್ಯಾಚ್ ಇಸ್ ಯೂನಿಟ್ ಕಾಸ್ಟಿಂಗ್. ಸೊ ದೆನ್ 1600 ಫಾರ್ 20 ಬ್ಯಾಚಸ್. ಅಮೌಂಟ್ ಪರ್ ಯೂನಿಟ್ ಹಾಕೋದು. ಕಾಸ್ಟ್ ಶೀಟ್ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ಯಾಟ್ ಹಾಕೊಂಡು ಪ್ರಾಫಿಟ್ ಅನ್ನ ಆಡ್ ಮಾಡೋದು. 1/3 ಆನ್ ದ ಕಾಸ್ಟ್, 1/4 ಆನ್ ಸೇಲ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ. ದೆನ್ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್ is about ಎಂಪ್ಲಾಯ್ ಕಾಸ್ಟ್. ಇದು ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್, ಮಾಡಿ ಕಂಪಲ್ಸರಿ. ಇದು ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಒಂದು 20 years ಅಲ್ಲಿ 50 ಸಲ ಕೇಳೋಣ EOQ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್. ಪ್ರತಿ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ EOQ ಇದೆ. ROQ ಅದೆಲ್ಲ. BEP, ಕಾಂಟ್ರಿಬ್ಯೂಷನ್, PV ರೇಷಿಯೋ, ಕಾಂಟ್ರಿಬ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಬೈ ಸೇಲ್ಸ್. ಫಾರ್ಮುಲಾ ಗೊತ್ತಿದ್ರೆ 5 ದಿವಸ ಬಿಸಾಕ್ಬೋದು. ಮಾರ್ಜಿನ್ ಆಫ್ ಸೇಫ್ಟಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಫಾರ್ಮುಲಾ ಗೊತ್ತಿರ್ಬೇಕು. ಎಲ್ಲ ಬೇಸ್ಡ್ ಆದ ಫಾರ್ಮುಲಾ ಇಲ್ಲಿ. ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್, ಮೆಷಿನರ್ ರೇಟ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ಕ್ಲೂಡಿಂಗ್ ರೋಬೋ. ಇದು ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಬೆಟರ್, ಗೋ ಥ್ರೂ ಮಾಡಿ. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಆಲ್ಸೇರೋ ಒನ್ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ABC, one of the easiest question in ABC. ಪ್ರತಿ ಸರ್ತಿ ಕೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ABC. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ನಂಬರ್ 3, ಕಾಂಟ್ರಾಕ್ಟ್ ಕಾಸ್ಟಿಂಗ್. ಕಾಂಟ್ರಾಕ್ಟ್ ಕಾಸ್ಟಿಂಗ್ is one of the important topics every time. ಎಸ್ಟಿಮೇಟ್ ಪ್ರಾಫಿಟ್ ಮಾಡೋದು ಒಂದು ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಇದೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ. ಇದನ್ನು ನಮಗೆ ಗ್ಲಾನ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ. may not come this time, but ಗ್ಲಾನ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ. ಪ್ರೊಸೆಸ್ ಕಾಸ್ಟಿಂಗ್, ನಾರ್ಮಲ್ ಪ್ರೊಸೆಸ್ ಅಕೌಂಟಿಂಗ್ ಕೇಳೋರೆ. ಪ್ರೊಸೆಸ್ 1, ಪ್ರೊಸೆಸ್ 2, ಪ್ರೊಸೆಸ್ 3. ದಿಸ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಈಕ್ವಲೆಂಟ್ ಪ್ರೊಡಕ್ಷನ್ FIFO is expected. weighted average ಬರ್ಬೋದು. ಕ್ವಶನ್ ನಂಬರ್ 5, marginal costing with the key factor. So contribution per unit ಮಾಡಿ ಅದನ್ನ ಮತ್ತೆ you have to give the ranking. Based on the ranking you have to utilize the hours available. How to use the hours, material, etc. Key factor. Product mix problem. Then cost sheet. Again, cost sheet impact is huge. So 4th question. 5th question, material cost variance ಬಂದಿದೆ. ಈ ಸಲ ಲೇಬರ್ ಅಥವಾ ವೇರಿಯಬಲ್ ಕೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. Okay, you can ask material itself again. So variances. You go by this table. ಈ ತರ ಟೇಬಲ್ ನಾನು ರೆಗ್ಯುಲರ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾಡಿಸಿರ್ತೀನಿ. ಅಂಡ್ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಇದರ ತರ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಲ್ಲ, ದ ವೇ ಐ ಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟೆಡ್. ಇನ್ನು ಆಲ್ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಸೇಮ್ ಇದೆ. ಮೆಟೀರಿಯಲ್ ಪ್ರೈಸ್ ವೇರಿಯಂಟ್ ಫಾರ್ಮುಲಾ ಏನು? ಪ್ರೈಸ್ ಇಸ್ ವಿತ್ ದ ಬ್ರಾಕೆಟ್ ಇಂಟು ಆಕ್ಚುಯಲ್ ಕ್ವಾಲಿಟಿ ಕನ್ಸ್ಯೂಮ್ಡ್. ಅದು ನೆನ್ಪಿಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ವೇಜ್ ರೇಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡರ್ಡ್ ರೇಟ್ ಬಂದ ವೇಜ್ ಆಕ್ಚುಯಲ್ ರೇಟ್ ಇಂಟು ಆಕ್ಚುಯಲ್ ಲೇಬರ್ ಆರ್ ಪೇಯ್ಡ್. ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ವರ್ಡ್ ಅನ್ನು ಸ್ಟ್ರೆಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ, ಅದನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ನೋಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಲೇಬರ್ ಅಥವಾ ಓವರ್ ಬರ್ಬೋದು. ರಿಕನ್ಸಿಲೇಷನ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಕೇಳಿದ್ರು ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಟೈಮ್ ನೋಡಿ. ಪ್ರಾಫಿಟ್ ಇವರು ಈ ತರ ಶುರು ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಯು ಆಲ್ವೇಸ್ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ವಿತ್ ಕಾಸ್ಟಿಂಗ್. ಆಲ್ವೇಸ್ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ವಿತ್ ದ ಕಾಸ್ಟಿಂಗ್. ಓಕೆ, ಇದನ್ನು ಉಲ್ಟಾ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಆಯ್ತು ಅಷ್ಟೇ. ಆಡ್ ಲೆಸ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಲೆಸ್ ಆಡ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಷ್ಟೇ. ನೀವು ನಿಮ್ ಫಾರ್ಮೆಟ್ ಒಂದೇ ಇಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಡೋಂಟ್ ಟ್ರೈ ಟು ಲರ್ನ್ ಟೂ ಮೆನಿ ಥಿಂಗ್ಸ್. ದೆನ್ ದೇರ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಒನ್ ಸ್ಮಾಲ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಆನ್ ಜಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಪ್ರಾಡಕ್ಟ್. ದೆನ್ ಥಿಯರಿ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಏನು, ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಇನ್ ಟೈಮ್. ಸೊ Toyota in Bidadi, they do it as a demand pull or pull through system. Whenever they want, then only they will order. So that inventory carrying cost will be almost nil. So idu ee topics ella elli barutte, financial books alli barutta, cost books alli barutta anta. Integrated, non integrated, easy chujibi nodi. And they're all practical theory. Out of out ತೆಗೆಯಬಹುದು. Almost one theory ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಬಿಟ್ಬಿಡಿ. ಅಥವಾ that also right. What are the cost driver? ಇದು ಈ cost driver big list ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. Normally ಒಂದು cost driver related question direct indirect ಇರುತ್ತೆ. Budget manual. What is the requirement for the particular activity is called budget manual. Last question. ಈ ಇಂಡಸ್ಟ್ರಿಗೆ ಯಾವ ಕಾಸ್ಟ್? ಆಟೋಮೊಬೈಲ್ ಗೆ ನಂಬರ್, ಗ್ಯಾಸ್ ಗೆ ಕ್ಯೂಬಿಕ್ ಫೀಟ್, ಬ್ರಿಕ್ ವರ್ಕ್ಸ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಹೌ ಮೆನಿ ಬ್ರಿಕ್ಸ್, ಪವರ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಕಿಲೋವ್ಯಾಟ್, ಈ ತರ ಇದು ಒಂದು ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಯಾವಾಗಲೂ ಕೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. So probably in this question, which would have been the question I would have excluded. Okay, question number I would have written. ಯಾರು ಬರಕೊಳ್ಳೋದು ಬರ್ಕೋಬಹುದು. Probably ಈ topic ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ, if you are good at all the topic, you could have started with the question number 1. ಅಥವಾ if you are extremely good at the theory, question number 6. Both are extremely easy. I would have started with question number 1 ಅಥವಾ question number 6. If you have prepared well. It is based on your preparation and confidence level ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ABC ಬಂದಾಗ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಕೇರ್ಫುಲ್ ಆಗಿರಿ. ABC ಮೇ ಬಿ ಹೈ ಟೈಮ್ ಕನ್ಸ್ಯೂಮಿಂಗ್, ನೋಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, ನೋಡ್ಬೇಕಂತ. ಓಕೆನಾ? ABC is normally high time consuming. Then I would have done question number 3. Question number 3 ಏನಕ್ಕೆ? Content costing, very straight question. ಮತ್ತೆ process costing. Both are easy. Question number 3 I would have done. ಮತ್ತೆ question number 4 also. I think question number 4, yeah. Cost sheet ಮತ್ತೆ ಅದರದ್ದು. Question number, so I would have started with the question number 1 or 6. ಅಥವಾ if I start with 1, go with 6 straight away. ಅಥವಾ start with 6, straight go to question number 1. Then I would have gone with question number 4, then question number 3. Interchange ಮಾಡಿ. Then standard costing ತುಂಬಾ ಜನ ಪಾಪ, even material costing also if you miss, God bless you. Question number 5 and reconciliation, one of the easiest topics, and byproduct. This question also I would have. Question number 5. Probably if ABC is time consuming, I would have left question number 2. I would have left. Okay. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಜನರಲ್ ಆಗಿ ನಾನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. So CA final batch is starting from 21st May. Second Allah. All the best. Pass with high marks. God bless you all. Whoever is not writing the examination, ಯಾರು exam ಬರಿತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಮಾತ್ರ. So Modi ji's road show ನಿಮ್ಗೆ relevant ಅಲ್ಲ, ನಿಮ್ಮ family member, friends ಯಾರ who is not writing the examination. So we are having our CFPF on wheels tomorrow with the Modi ji's road show at MG Road ಹತ್ರ. Okay, 11 o'clock around. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ 9:45 ಗೆ ಮೀಟಿಂಗ್ ಇದೆ. ಯಾರಾದ್ರು ಬರಕ್ಕಿದ್ರೆ 83102 ಗೆ ಮೆಸೇಜ್ ಹಾಕಿ Zoom ID ಪಾಸ್ವರ್ಡ್ ಕೊಡ್ತೀವಿ. They can come. ನಿಮ್ಗಲ್ಲ, ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ ಬರೆಯೋರಿಗಲ್ಲ, who is not writing the examination, they can join with the green color PBFF t-shirt. ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಓದಿ, ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಡಿಸಿಪ್ಲಿನ್ ಮೇಂಟೈನ್ ಮಾಡಿ, ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟೀಸ್ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಮಾಡಿ, ತುಂಬಾ ಬರೀರಿ. ಓಕೆ, ಮ್ಯಾಕ್ಸಿಮಮ್ ಬರೀರಿ. ಓಕೆ, ಅಂಡ್ ಸ್ಪೀಡ್ ಇಂಪ್ರೂವ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಯು ವಿಲ್ ನಾಟ್ ಬಿ ಏಬಲ್ ಟು ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ ವಿದಿನ್ 3 hours otherwise, sir. So enjoy the examination. All the best. Keep rocking, keep enjoying. God bless you. Thank you. Next start to YouTube off ಮಾಡಮ್ಮ. YouTube, can you switch off? All the best. Rashmi, you hear me? YouTube recording ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಾ? Rashmi, can you hear me? Rashmi? Sapna, inform us related, switch off the YouTube. Keep enjoying. God bless you. Thank you. Bye bye. Chana Gori, chana prepare ಮಾಡಿ.